In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over with the differences and actually why they did the differences in two of Liquidlogic's newest boats. This is the Liquidlogic Hot Whip and this one's the Liquidlogic Sweet Ride. And I get a lot of questions because I've spent time in both of them. I'm going to do the best I can to kind of break down why they did what they did on these two boats right here. You can see them side by side. When you get them like this, you can really see that they are two different boats. Where I get it, a lot of people thought that it was like a medium large and a small, but it's not. So yeah, let's get into the walkthroughs now. Okay, starting off, let me throw the specs up of each one. So the Sweet Ride comes in at 9 feet and the Hot Whip comes in at 8 feet. Both of them are 26.5 inches wide, with the volumes on the Hot Whip is at 62 and 10 extra gallons is in the Sweet Ride, so it comes in at 72, and the weight ranges are identical. It's 120 to 240. Cockpit sizing's the same, and then overall assembled weight, I'm pretty sure it's 42 and 46 pounds. So that's a quick rundown of the specs. Let's go ahead and do a quick comparison of the overall design for you guys. First off, let's start back here at the stern. Look at the difference. By the way, I do have the cockpits lined up the best I can so you can see the difference in these tails. Rocker seems to be a little higher in the Sweet Ride than it does the Hot Whip. It's a more narrow taper back here. It's a wider boat back here in the Hot Whip, and the reason for it's a little shorter, so you probably want to be a little wider so you don't squat out so much. Drain plugs, identical drain plugs, grab handles, nothing new on that. Graphics, these are some of the coolest graphics I'd ever seen on kayaks. At first I thought they were kind of corny looking, but after seeing them in person and getting a look at them like this, I really like these graphics. They are stickers, they are not mold-in graphics. This is the Sweet Ride, you can kind of see the graphic there, and this is the Hot Whip, you can see the graphics there. Look really good. I'm a big fan of colored graphics. Both of them have this cutout type design that's kind of like what Liquidlogic's been doing lately. But one thing I noticed, if you see this line here and you see this line here, the depth is almost 3 times as much, almost like it gives you more depth down inside this where there's less in that. That's more kind of cosmetic. This actually kind of serves a function a little bit. Both of them have this swallowtail cutout. You can see pretty similar, but the sizing on these, this looks like it's about an inch wider on there. Moving up, both of them have molded in wall holders for the back with the logo on there. Outfitting's exactly the same. I'm not going to go over it. It's a badass outfitting. Cockpit sizing's the same. You can kind of see how the throw up goes there. Adjustable seat, adjustable thigh braces, adjustable bulkhead. Up here, molded in wall holder. They both have foam walls, by the way. They don't have a roto-molded step out pillar. Big grab handle here, grab handle there, grab handle on the front. Once again, they did this styling that's kind of like the RMX. It feels a little deeper on the Sweet Ride where it's not as deep on the Hot Whip. One thing I can tell you after sitting in front of them right here, I don't know if you can see it that well on the camera, but the Hot Whip is notably wider up here compared to this is more of a sleeker design. This looks closer to an RMX bow, where this looks like something totally new, almost like a short RMX, if that makes any sense. You can see how that's got a longer, slender design, and that's kind of fattened out right there and wider right there, and it's a little wider profile here where it's more rounded off there. Both of them fit pretty big. They're both what I would consider a big medium. They're not small, they're not big, but I fit well in both of them. And I know several other people that are really tall, up to about 6'4", 6'5", and they fit in both of them. I just think the optimal weight range for these are somewhere in between that 165 to 190. Somewhere in that bubble area is gonna be the perfect ride for both of these. But you could paddle both of them being lighter or heavier, by the way. But yeah, let me just kind of walk around these real quick and give you guys a quick kind of like look at the overall design of each one and how these bows look. Rocker looks to be about the same in the bows. Colors on these, so that color right there is Venom, and this is Shark Blue. There's one more that would be right here, and that's Gold. So it's technically a yellow, a blue, and a light green, or like a lime color, which I really like that lime color. That looks really good. These come in at $13.99 at the time of this video. That doesn't mean it won't go up. That doesn't mean it won't go down. But at the time of this video, it's $13.99 on either one of these. They're exactly the same. Let's roll them over and check out the hulls. Actually, let's roll them up on their side like this. you can see how the hot whip comes down and widens up right there. And then look at the length and how this is a little more rounded off, where that's kind of like a sharper point right there. Looking at both of these tails side by side. I think Liquidlogic did a really good job on these tails. I really like the looks of these tails. And you can see how there's more volume up in this area right here. Looking at it from this side, I can see that it's a little more bulbous and a little more rounded, where this is sharper. This is like a sharper transition right here. If I don't know if it can kind of make out in the video, but I can see it pretty good right here, that it's a very steep taper, where this taper's like rounded off right here. This is another spot where you're going to see a big difference between these two. This will make more sense to you once you see them upside down like this. You can kind of see they went with the same philosophies. The rails run all the way out on both of them, but going up, when you're looking at them here, this area is flat, so your transition from here to here is very small. Where you look at your transition from like there to there, that's probably from this point here to this point here is a solid inch to maybe 2 inches, where on this one it's like a ½ inch. So this is like more rounded and more like the RMX. And by the way, look at how deep these gouges is. I actually have deep gouges in both of these, and they've not been paddled that much. I don't know if it's like a little softer plastic or what. But getting back right here, you can kind of see the width of that the hot whip compared to the Sweet Ride. Sweet Ride has more like a hybrid kind of flat displacement hybrid, where it's kind of rounded off, where that's just super flat all the way across. Just looking at them here, if I just looked at these two bottoms, they look like two totally different boats to me. Both on the bottom, they look kind of similar on the top, but the bottoms look a lot different. All right, let's roll them back over, and I'll kind of tell you exactly which one I prefer and which one you might want. So let's roll them over now. Okay, let me answer the question that I've been getting a lot here lately. Which boat do I like best, and which one should you be paddling? Well, which one do I like best? I actually like them both exactly the same. I know that's hard to believe, but I actually do. I really like both of these boats for what they do. What would I paddle mostly? I don't know, because it depends on where we're going. If we've got some big water, flowy stuff, say like high water, something big and burly, I'm probably wanting to be in a Sweet Ride, because it's more of a creaky kind of downriver type boat. If it's like a full-on play day, golly, a Coe, big water, blasting holes, nothing that's like a bunch of big back-to-back drops, probably going to be in a hot whip, one of the most playful kind of boats that I've paddled so far. And then the Sweet Ride is one of the most smoothest downriver type boats I've paddled in a while. So which one does what? So if you're into downriver kind of flowy type creaking with stern squirts on big eddy lines, not a bunch of flat water stuff, it's a little bit harder to get down, but you can get it down and you can play carving up the river, go Sweet Ride. If you're wanting a full-on play, looping, kind of cartwheeling, splat, stern squirt, everything, surfing, spinning, go hot whip. I think that's where that excels, and the Sweet Ride will be more your river runner. And then if it gets really burly is where you would step up to the RMX. So it seems like Liquidlogic's lineup is really starting to round out here really good with the hot whip, the Sweet Ride, and the RMXs. They have 3 sizes of the RMXs now, and it seems like they've really rounded their lineup out really good. There it is, everybody. I hope I answered a lot of questions, and I kind of wanted to spend a little bit of time in each one before I did this video for y'all. I have some other walkthroughs and on-water reviews and some comparisons that I'll leave a link in the bottom and a link at the end of this video. But you guys leave in the comments what you think of each one of these boats, which one you like the best, and if you've paddled them, let me know what you think. Definitely if you paddled them both, I'd really like to have your opinion on there, because it helps kind of everybody getting information out on these boats. Yeah, thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hot whip, woo, jalapeno, honey bear.